Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all. This movie is a horror film from Spain, Spanish language English subs, released in the year 2023, directed by Gustavo Hernandez, and this film is called Ferocious Wolf. So Ferocious Wolf is about three main characters. One character is a high school teacher who's been accused of a heinous crime. Another character is a policeman who's investigating this teacher who believes that he's connected to other crimes, and a woman that has been traumatized by her past that links her to this high school teacher, and she believes that he has the answers she so sorely needs. So all three are about to come together, and there's a whirlwind of violence that is going to get the truth out, but unfortunately the truth is nothing as what they expect. So what that truth is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Ferocious Wolf. I didn't really know this movie existed until I realised that it was Gustavo Hernandez directing it. Now Gustavo Hernandez is a Uruguayan filmmaker who created a Uruguayan haunted house film called The Silent House. Now The Silent House, although that wasn't brilliant, it had enough creativity within a very tight subgenre to make it worth seeing, but ultimately it fell flat because of the fact I've seen it all before. But there's enough use of different style of directing that actually makes this a director to really look out for in the future. And so when I realised that he made another movie that was completely different to The Silent House, I thought this is a film I need to check out. And so when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked very similar to Big Bad Wolves, 7 Days, Daddy's Little Girl, The Tortured, movies about violence and trying to get the truth out through violence and how devastating that can be. And so I thought, alright, well, what is Gustavo Hernandez going to produce in Ferocious Wolf? And what he produces is a very, very psychological film, and I thought the first 3/4 of this movie worked very well because you're never quite sure what the truth is. And this is the devastating impact of violence, that these characters are inflicting such horrific acts upon this certain person, and this certain person is telling them things, but you're not quite sure if it's just them telling them what they want to hear because of the violence, or in fact is it true. And so having that sense of suspense through the air because of that violence, I thought worked very, very well. I thought the three characters in this movie were fantastic. You have the teacher, who never quite sure whether he's guilty or innocent, the policeman who has his own issues and has his own reasons for being here, and the woman. The woman is by far the best character in this movie, played absolutely brilliantly by Adriana Ugarte, who is a very torn up individual, and she wants vengeance. And I thought she was a very dangerous person, but at the same time very sympathetic and very relatable. And so you've got these characters in a film that you've seen before, but these are characters that you hadn't really seen before, because it dares to actually show you sympathy through the eyes of something very, very ghastly. And so these people inflicting these horrible, horrible acts, I couldn't help but feel a sense of sympathy for them because of the situation that everyone was facing. I thought the cinematography excellent, and the psychological question of how far is too far, and your obsession for that truth and how it can really get in the way. I thought that is the talking point. What you would do in a similar circumstance is something that you can't really answer until you've been into that situation, but it's a devastating situation that really no one ever wants to be in. But these are characters you could tell were very normal in the past, but unfortunately trauma has shaped them into these monsters that they are actually becoming. So as the movie goes on, things are going all over the place. There's a whirlwind of violence. I thought the violence was used very sparingly. That actually gives it much more of a higher impact. It's a very hard film to watch because you can't desensitize yourself to this situation. This is not a torture porn sort of movie. It's using violence in a very, very deliberate way, and I thought that was really hard hitting. So the dialogue I thought was fantastic. The script was phenomenal, and that allows these characters and actors to portray individuals that were very, very interesting, and really carries the film. It prevents it from ever getting boring, and so I thought that was good. So everything about this movie I thought was acceptable, very much the same with Silent House, but unfortunately where this movie falls down is its ending. Now a lot of these directors fail to give good endings because viewers want closure. And if a viewer wants closure, that really ties together everything, and so you're never really needing to use your brain. Whereas this film, the first 3/4, it's constantly psychologically tormenting. You don't know what's going on, and therefore you have that vulnerability. You don't have that closure. You don't have someone holding your hand. And so you're in the dark room and you're reaching out and you're trying to find that light, but you can't find it. But when the director tells you where to find that light, you have that sense of control and you can see everything that's going on. And unfortunately, this is where the movie falls down in that predictable way. Whereas if it left it out in the open and your interpretation, this can be far more devastating. Is this person innocent? reason. Was this person, you know, being tortured for nothing? That could have been a lot more devastating than actually holding your hand. And this is what the director does, and this is the biggest disappointment to this movie, is that the last quarter was one of the most generic endings that you could ever get. Therefore, it's a contradiction to the unpredictability that the majority of this movie had going for it. And so I don't know why directors need to hold the hand of the viewers. Let the viewer make their own mind up, and it would have given the movie a lot more replayable value, because the first 3 quarters had a lot of clues as to what was going on, and you definitely have people drawing different interpretations and drawing different opinions, therefore creating that sense of discussion. But when you actually turn on the light and you're showing everyone what's going on, it's an open and shut case, and therefore you don't really need to watch this film again. So that was the biggest issue. I have another issue with the soundtrack. I thought the score was very off-putting and very, very inconsistent. There were moments that I thought were trying to make lighthearted of a very horrible situation that just didn't work. It was very, it's just very disjointed in the way it went about its business as far as the score is concerned. You know, it just felt as though it was completely different to what it was trying to go for. So one particular score, it belonged in a much more light-hearted scene, whereas it was there in a very hard-hitting scene, and it just really didn't work, and that's something that I really, really didn't like. And as I said, the predictability of this movie prevents it from really stretching its wings and being as good as it really could have. And so it is a thought-provoking film, but unfortunately you have seen it before. It had the potential to be a movie that really broke free and created a shadow of its own, but right at the end it got stage fright, turned on the lights, held the hand of the viewer and told them exactly what was going on, which really took the effect out of Ferocious Wolf. So overall, it's not a bad movie, but unfortunately once you see it and you've been told what's going on, you don't really need to see it again. Therefore, I'm going to give Ferocious Wolf 3 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.